Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. Well, we have come back to the West of Scotland lines. It's called properly West of Scotland Lines, the Port Road. On the DLC, it's called Western Lines of Scotland. And it covers a line that used to run between Carlisle and Stranraer, namely from Dumfries to Dunragit, spelled as Dunragit, but I think it's pronounced Dunragit according to some people who are in the know. And that portion of the line no longer exists. Like the little parts that lead up to where they junction off, like Challoch Junction, where it goes up to Ayr, for example, which is spelled A-Y-R, Ayr. And then, of course, the Dumfries area itself continues north on its line. So those lines still exist. But the line that connects between Dumfries and Dunragit, that line has been lifted. All the lines and stations and all that exist there are now gone. You've seen me playing on the Port Road. All that is gone. Everything on the two scenarios on the Port Road, except for Dumfries itself, is gone. And of course, the later versions of the Port Road, and I'm going to be trying to get some of those in before these scenarios too, because I'm a little ahead on my recording on this for a reason I'll explain later on. Let's just say that all the stuff added to the later versions of Port Road and on this route, Castle Douglas, even all the way up to Glenjuice, which is the last station before the merge from Ayr. Newton, it wasn't Newton Abbot, was it? Newton Stewart, I think it was. So a number of stations here all don't exist anymore. These towns no longer have their rail service. So obviously the Christmas scenarios were an alternate time and place that you may have already seen on the channel. I broke my own policy of not showing the route first in regular scenarios, but it was a good reason. It was Christmas scenarios. I wanted to do something holidays. So now we're going to do the regular scenarios. We're going to start on them anyway. I'm going to do the first four scenarios now because what I want to do is get these four scenarios done with the track as it appears on the route. I'm going to play the Ayr line scenario today. I'm going to later come down and pull out the Black 5 with intermediate weathering and a snowplow. We're going to be taking the series of Ice Cream Man scenarios, which you can see are 45, 60, and 60 minutes in, well, particular order. So that's about 2 hours and 45 minutes of driving. And they actually have an interesting scripting element involved as well, which is what I'm going to want to show you on those scenarios. You actually have a fireman and engineer or conductor, I guess it is, who are very, very fussy about your speed. So you don't want to speed on them, and you might be limited to a lower speed than usual that you have to abide by. So if you're told to go 20 miles an hour, you're going to expect you to go 20 miles an hour. Like, basically, that's how it works. You're not allowed to go any faster. The game will actually penalize you for going faster or try to abort the scenario on you if you go too fast for too long. So I will try to show you how that works in one case, intentionally. But obviously I'm going to be completing the scenarios, otherwise trying to do them perfectly because they are scenarios that you pretty much want to do perfectly. So we're going to try and do that. There is no career scoring, so if you do speed, we speed. Big deal. And if it does happen, I'll just make that the one that I show you what happens. But like you can get an emergency brake pulled on you without you even trying and things like that just by not holding your speed properly. So that can happen. We'll talk about that later. But in any case, today what we're going to do is we're going to head up to the Ayr line. We're going to start in the area approaching Stranraer. We're going to actually start at Challoch Junction on the part of the line that still exists. And that is the going to be the trip, I believe, into Stranraer. Yeah, heading to Stranraer Harbour, which is the very end of the route, right in the water area. We're going to see what it looks like back in 1965 and sooner, which, 65 is when the line closed. Let's go, shall we? This is Challoch Junction. Our train is an ex-Girvan to Stranraer Harbour stopping service. Away clears onto the Port Road. Our next stop is Dunragit. Alright, we are going to get ready to go. We have to keep in mind that these old steam engines do take a while to come to a stop. It's hard to bring them to a stop, so we're going to have to make sure we plan our stops accordingly. Something we have to remember when we're dealing with steam trains. They can't stop on a dime like the electric and diesel trains that we see on the lines nowadays, especially the electric trains. They're really good at slowing down. Not 365, we won't talk about that, but still, most of them are good at slowing down. German ones are really good at slowing down. That's all I'm going to say about that. Prefer a German train if we can get our hands on one. There you go. But in any case, you can see that we are in the cab. We're looking at a fire. The fire is raging. Nice hot fire. Nice and warm in here. And I don't have anyone helping shovel fire, even though I have an automatic fireman on. That's convenient. Let's pop over this side of the cab. You can see how everything looks from this side. So this looks like a very nice train here. Very nice interior here. I imagine it was a pleasure working on the Black Fives back then. Let's take a quick look at where we are on the route. I'm going to put my head back out the window because it's nice out there. Nice and cool, I think. I don't know what the date is offhand. But if we look at the map, we can see we're heading to Dunragit, but there's a train going by over here next to us. I'm going to center back where we are because we are back here. He's about to go by. Let's take a look. Leaving our starting point, we are now on our way to Dunragit. Now you're going to notice when we look at our task list here, we don't have any timings on anything. We just have our various stops to make getting to Stranraer. Then we're going to be heading apparently back towards the shunting road, or sorry, stabling road, to Stranraer Harbour Gate, and then we're going to be coupling some stuff afterwards. So we're going to then make our way back to Stranraer Town platform, which is a little further back from, we're going to be passing on the way into the main area. So we're going to have some extra quicker after we arrive. Let's just keep that in mind. Our speed limit is now 60 miles per hour. I am doing a gradual increase here at a pace, but we're going to be hitting the 75 when we have to slow down anyway, so there's not any point even doing that. In fact, because we're going to be slowing down soon, let's just cut the speed right now and make sure we can worry about coming to a stop when we need to. We don't have timings, so we're going to just take advantage of the fact that we can bring it to a stop whenever we need to. Seems like a good idea. We're going to start braking at this point now, 3/4 of a mile out. I want to see, I should bring up this hub, by the way, that'd be more convenient. Let's hold it a 14 brake and see what this does. It's coming down very nicely right now. Now, since these are all standard scenarios in these trains, except maybe there might be one or two that are clear, but I think they're all standard. Let's just say I'm very happy that we don't have to worry about points on these scenarios, but there is the possibility that there could be a timetable on some of them later on, especially the passenger ones. We are still going to have to meet the timetable. Now, if it means speeding, we'll speed. I don't care. We don't have points. But as long as we don't have the speed limiter function, we're okay. So, we'll see what happens there. I am also planning in the future to go ahead and get a patch applied to this route. That patch will improve the, or should improve the tracks on the route and make them so not only that they look nicer, they're going to be from the VP track pack, by Vulcan Productions. Not only would they look nicer, but they would also, apparently they do a better job of keeping the train on the track around certain kinds of curves where you might actually randomly derail sometimes. So I'm going to be planning to get that set up here at some point. But I want to do these initial scenarios without that pack so you can see what the track looks like around the route without that pack installed. You can see, for example, what the track looks like ahead right now. If I change this hub, you can see a little bit more of it. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So we're now entering Dunragit. I am coming in very, very slowly at this point. I'm going to ease off so I can come in just a little further, and then I'll slam the brakes on. I might have applied the brakes just a little early there, so now I want to come to a stop, and we're going to do that. That is pretty much a perfect stop right there. So doors are open at Dunragit. Let's take a look. Right away, driver. The next station is Castle Kennedy. Another train coming by, I think. Let's get rid of you. Oh, that's just me. Never mind. I thought I had heard another train, but that's just me. Okay, so Castle Kennedy is 2.82 miles away as we leave the station here. And that, again, is where we're heading next. We have our full reverser, our full throttle applied, or I should say regulator. We're going to go ahead and start bringing that reverser back down and try to regulate the steam a little better. About 30% is around the butter zone, I think. I don't think you really want to take too much off because you'll actually make it hard to gain speed. There'll just be less steam, not enough steam going through 4-speed. So getting the reverser in the right spot is a challenge. As long as there are no timings involved, we should be okay. If there is a timetable, we might have to refine our play later. Remember that one combo through that I was trying to get up that hill on a very tight timetable that I basically took 5 tries to get. Of course, I only showed you the 5th try. But it took me 5 tries to get to that station on time. And it was a trick of figuring out how to get up that hill. That was the challenge, getting the right regular spot to get up that hill, and I managed to finally figure it out. I probably won't be able to do it again, don't ask me to. I'll just show a clip of that previous scenario attempt. 75 is our speed limit at this time. We have the light signals now on this route to Ayr, so those signals that we saw, the semaphore, I think they're called semaphore signals. I don't use it very often, as you can tell. But the semaphore signals are seem to have given way to the color light signal between Dunragit and Stranraer Harbour. You can see Castle Kennedy is coming up, so I'm going to take the throttle off here as we are 1.25 miles out. There's no reason to gain any more speed. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of brakes on so I'm down to a more controllable speed. I'm not actually going to come to a stop yet, but because I don't have to worry about the time, at least I don't have to worry about the time too much anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just control my speed rather than try to make a certain time. Getting some water on the engine, it looks like. Yep, the leg as each station loads. Gotta love it. The question will always remain, is there a computer that's actually good enough to run Train Simulator at full power? I do not know. I remain hopeful that DTG will up the game one day and will actually make it improve. Make it improve to a certain point, so I'm hopeful that will happen one day. I know there's been a... Hello! Didn't know there was an airport here. I know that a long time ago there was a thread that I participated in that we actually had with people talking about being willing to pay for a new core, which is promising for development if you want to develop a new core. That's what they do with Train Sim World, after all. I mean, people keep paying for that. Getting a little wet and stormy here, it looks like. Dark and stormy. Yeah, it looks like weather is starting to come in here. So, yeah, there were a lot of requests for the new core. There's the semaphores again, by the way. Light signals aren't all over the place. So, there are people who want to pay for new core. There are people talking about wanting DirectX 12. I threw in something to fix the broken scenarios, because that's what kind of ruins my play. But, of course, with 600 DLC, it's impossible for them to find every single broken scenario. Respectable understanding there. Hello. You might be able to get to the station before that train goes by, but like I said, I'm just being very, very careful. I'm going 25 right now. And actually, I'm slowing down. I wasn't even trying, but I am slowing down. I did take the brakes off the coast for a while, and I just noticed it was slowing down, so I didn't even bother putting any more brakes on because I am coming down nicely. Now I am going to need some brakes. Heavy brakes now, please. We are fully in the station, so we do want to come to a stop now. And that worked about as well as I could hope for there. Arrival at Castle Kennedy, platform number 2. Sounds like a storm is picking up here. Coming back to you a little early. We are getting ready to leave for Stranraer Harbour, and yeah, it is getting a little stormy right now. Let's move the reverser all the way up. So right away, driver, our next to final stop is the end of the line at Stranraer Harbour. In other words, do not overshoot because you will hit a buffer. Fantastic. Oh, my brakes are on. That might be a good thing to get rid of, wouldn't it? Let's get those brakes off. That'll help nicely. Wasting steam otherwise. Fantastic. Bring that down now. I do remain by my belief, by the way, that the 7F is probably the best train I've driven here so far. I still haven't driven the 8F that came with the Netherfield route. It also was its own DLC, but again, because it was its own DLC, and it was probably the 7th DLC in the entire series of DLC, it was number 24025, I'm going to presume that the quality of the scenarios and train, because you get the scenarios with it too, from that pack, I'm going to assume they're not as good. There's some of the oldest scenarios I own legally, and I have gotten my hands on some of the other ones, which I will show you just for the old time's sake. But other than the 24012 BNSF trains and the Isle of Wight, there might be one other one that I want to say 21 might be acquirable too. I can't think of what it is right now, but I know that 22 is the Class 08. 23 is the RSDL Class 66. And by the way, it's the RSDL 08, which is no longer available at 22. 24 is another version of the Class 158. So those are no longer available. 24025 is the 8F, which I legally own. So it is one of the oldest DLC that is still available. Maybe the second or third is still available. At least the third. So we have 2 more miles to go to Stranraer Harbour. I'm going to show you the other reason I'm kind of keeping my head out the window in the rain right now to show you what's coming up here in a moment. It's not the speed limit, though that might be related. Whoa, why am I suddenly gaining a whole bunch of speed? I hit it downhill. Let's take the throttle off for a moment. If we have a 45 coming up, we might have to hit the brakes. Homes along the line here. Yeah, we're definitely going to hit the brakes right now. There's 20s coming up, and that's concerning. So we're going to get a heavy, heavy brake applied and get ourselves ready for that. Easing off those brakes now. I'm slow enough that I think I have enough control. Yeah, I'm going to say that Stranraer Harbour just slowed, or Stranraer Town. It seems that every time you approach a station on this route, there's some lags. So I'm going to assume that the items on the route are not very well optimized. That's the only conclusion I can get. They're not very well optimized. I almost feel like I should play this route in low quality, which is a shame. I got down to 20 a little bit early, so I've gone ahead and taken off the brakes quite a bit here. I might have to reapply them slightly to make sure I don't speed. At least not in the 20 segment. We can move up to maybe 25 for a moment because we're going to eventually have a 30 coming up. Now I'm going to take the brakes off completely. And now we're going to be speeding slightly in a moment, unless I can lose the speed before I get there. So I came down very early. Like I said, I'm still getting used to the feel of this train. I'm not going to have a perfect drive, and that's fine. I don't have a timetable, so I can do that. It's nice to have the opportunity to learn how the train works. I'm still not going to do it perfectly, but we won't talk about that. The timetable scenarios are a little worrying for me here. I think we're taking an alternate line here from that second signal. So, that one that was green. So I'm watching for a junction track here, which is probably what that 20 represents. And when we see that junction track, we're probably going to be taking it right now. I can see it right there. The other signal is red, so we're crossing over. There it is. Oh, I am speeding. Whoops, I am slightly over the limit. That was not supposed to happen. I must have hit a slight downhill. That was not expected. I still have to learn the route itself, too. That tells you something. Now I can go 30, so I might as well take the brakes off now. But I'm just going to go ahead and stay at 20 because I don't want to, knowing I'm coming into Stranraer Harbour now, I might as well just stay at 20. Or go speed again. Sure, that works. I've got like the tiniest brake applied. It's actually holding me nicely. I'm not going to complain about that. I think I'm losing speed now, so we're good. So that's Stranraer town over there. That's where the turntable is. So I don't know how trains that go into Stranraer Harbour are supposed to turn around after they drop their stock off. There is a shunting section at the end of the platforms, but I don't know how a train is supposed to turn around, especially a Black 5. If it was like if the line was still up and Class 66s were coming down the line, they can turn around easy. They have a cab at both ends. The Black 5 doesn't have that. So I'm not sure how we're supposed to turn around, except I think what we're going to be seeing is the procedure for turning around. We're going to have to make our way over to Stranraer Town, Platform 1. I guess someone else is going to get the train turned around on the Hello. Someone else is going to get the train turned around there because there is a turntable there. There, that will work for now. No more speeding, please. Trying to exert control so I can put a little speed on without losing too much. So I actually put the throttle up. It looked like it wasn't going to stop, so I just put the brakes on to maintain 15. It's not about time in this scenario, just about control. Make sure you make your stops. On a freight scenario, that's about speed. That's when you want to go speed limits. So we just crossed that green signal. It was a green signal, so there are no other signals here. So maybe there's just no yellow on these. I don't see any signal at all at the end of the platform. I think it's just automatic what you're allowed to do there. I've got myself down to 12 just by idling at this point, so I'm doing okay. Notice that the area into the harbor is water on both sides. This was definitely a working zone. So back to head out the window. I'm going to go ahead and watch the platform. Actually, I think it's on this side. See some signage there. Scotland! Live life on the move in caravans, ladies and gentlemen. Get your caravans today. Welcome to Stranraer Harbour and get your caravans. Gonna try and give our passengers the best location to get off. Which could basically be any time now, I believe. I want to pull up just a little more, though. That'll do. We're going very slow now anyway, so that'll do. Now, before I open the doors, I want to show you something as I come to a stop here. Let's look at the map and see what's going on here. There are portals here. Why are there portals here? I have no idea, but there are portals here. Let's open the doors, and I'll let you ponder what trains would disappear into portals here. Ooh, that was a nice burst of thunder. Well done. Now you are required to take empty stock to Town Station, as it will form an afternoon train to Dumfries. Uncouple the train and run around. Do we have the task? Yep, we have to drop off all of our luggage here. So we're going to go ahead and pop out of the train for a moment, go through it, and figure out what it is we're going to be unhooking. Let's bring this up. F6, F7, we can see that, excuse me, there's the coach. I gave myself a nice spot here, didn't I? Let's go to the platform side, actually. See if we can do it better from this side. So there's 24198. You can see 24198 is obviously part of the stock, so we're going to uncouple the whole bloody thing. And there we go. Please move forward into head shunt 2. Is the junction set for us? Let's find out. It is set for head shunt 2, so we are going to head forward. Just a slight I'm going to actually leave the brakes on. Just a slight increase here. Will it work that way? No, it won't. Okay, this is not working the way I hoped to. Oh, I need more of this to get moving. Okay. Now the train's going to lurch forward and we're going to have a problem. Excellent. Excellent. Let's go ahead and hide that for a second. We can see our task up ahead. And now we're not moving anymore. Okay, excellent. Splendid. That is too fast. That is way too fast. Brakes off for a moment. Gonna hide the F6 now. I don't need it anymore. And full brakes. I don't want to hit the buffer. I do not want to hit the buffer today. Good enough. I did what I needed to. I'm going to set a junction to get the heck out of here now. Because that seems like the appropriate thing to do. Actually, it's already set for me. It's automatic. Never mind. I don't do it. It's automatic. They set it for you. I think I'm going to be going backwards. So let's get ready to do that. Now reverse to via hello, jet going by. Reverse via Stabling Road 1. They had those kinds of jets in 1965, huh? I'm not sure they did, but okay. Now, where am I heading? Oh, the Stabling Road is the actual siding. Okay, good. Do I stop here? No, I'm just going via it. Good to know. Make sure you're going at least 1 mile an hour when you go into the Stabling Road. Otherwise, you might fail the task. Be aware of that. Got the check mark? So we're going to stop at Stranraer Harbour Gate 1, which you can see is about 0.2 of a mile away. I'm just going to go ahead and get my head chopped off. Oh, what the heck? People are still on that train. That's where I'm going. It's kind of weird coming through the station backwards. You see what I'm saying? Feels a little weird. But everything appears set for us. Everything is automatic in this area. And, yeah, let's look at this way. Perfect. So we were clear to go. None else shall pass. They shall not pass. Put a little more speed on, hence the cough of smoke here. Oh, let's get out of that. So we're going to hide you now. Because we can see on the HUD where we're going, and it was just there to show you where it is we're aiming for. Stop now! Might be coming just a little too fast, but you know what? We'll take it. Stop is generated. I am easing the brakes off now that we've come to a stop. We will get our next task in a moment. I'm going to hold there for a moment to make sure the brakes stay applied, and then couple up to the empty coach stock. Did I go back far enough? I might still have to go back a little more. Let's check. Nope, we're set for the correct, that's where we're going. We're going to couple up somehow the empty coach stock. Let's try and do it safely, preferably. So, forward. And onwards. So you can go up a little bit to get into the platform, and then we're going to have to slow down. So I'm going to not go any faster than 10 as I break 10. Perfect. So we're going to hop back on top of the train just for giggles. Don't really have much of a view from in here, do you? Let's do this. That's actually a nice, better view for us. We have the game cheating method of being able to use our binoculars. Binoculars. All train drivers should have them. We also have a coupling view, which I'm actually not really daring to use. Let's get some speed off so I can come in slowly. Brakes off, please. You can almost see the flash bulbs going on every camera in the station right now as they watch this. It's enthralling to them to see this. As the train comes to a stop, without picking up the stock, there you go. Let's put a tiny bit of throttle on here. Regulator, as it's called. You see just a little does a lot here. Got a little bit of brakes on there to make sure I didn't gain any more speed. Now I'm going to put a little bit of speed off. I need to hit the brakes now. Got it. Stock captured, going into reverse again. We're going to take the empty coaching stock up to Stranraer Harbour Junction, and we're going backwards, ladies and gentlemen. So, the basic way to put this is, inside this. And let's look at our train again. We now want to go this way. Now we should have clearance. If we didn't have clearance, then I don't know why, because we're being told that's what we're doing and no one should be coming. And unless I made a very horrible mistake, yeah, the line is clear for us, so we're good. And somehow I didn't start speeding while I was away. Perfect. Yeah, we have the shunt signal on, so we're good. So we're going to be stopping at Stranraer Harbour Junction Shunt Neck. That is 3/4 of a mile away, a little more than that actually. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. I didn't apply any more lovely speed here. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to control my throttle a little better. Let's put some brakes on. Don't speed, don't speed. I'm speeding. This is why career scenarios in Steam Locos are kind of hard to do. Put a tiny bit of regulator on and see if I can control it a little better here. Nudging up a little bit because we're on a hill. I'm sure this is normal, but it's a little tedious doing this kind of thing. Can you imagine doing this every day? Train drivers here are spoiled with their CAS. Back in the old days, you had to literally stick your neck out the window to see what's going on or rely on a flagman to tell you what's going on. We don't have a flagman. We're doing it ourselves. Fire's open. You can tell the fire's open. I saw the orange light there on the side of the train there. Fire's going. There's Stranraer town coming by again. We have a shunt neck that we're pulling into. So I'm going to do this from on top. This is where we're heading. Despite having a 30, I stayed at 20 the whole time. We're taking our time today. So the track we're on apparently ends. So I think we're pulling into a side track here. And I think there is one up here that I remember. I thought it was off to the right. I might be thinking wrong. Yeah, I see the track going right. So we're following that junction for the 20. I knew the 20 was there for a junction. So that's where we're heading. I don't want to slow down this badly, though. Let's put a little speed back on for a moment. Make sure we can get in. I'm going to cough on some smoke again. Handicapped up myself on a bridge. That'll do. We're going to come to a break in here anyway. Actually, this is the head shunt. Okay, never mind. We are in the head shunt. Get ourselves fully in the yellow. Make sure we can change tracks where we need to. We're not fully in the yellow yet, are we? Yeah, if we zoom ahead, that is the end of the track. You can see there is a buffer there. We should be fully in now, so we're going to be pushing the stock into place, it looks like. Next step is going to be Stranraer Town platform, and that is it. We've done everything that's asked of us up to that point. So now I'm just going to look at the front of the train here. We have a green. We literally are an inch shy of the signal here. Like, one more inch we would have been completely past the signal properly, but that's not bad. I will take that. We can go forwards, which basically is blind for us from the train route. So once again, there'll be a flagman in the front coach giving green signal indications and red signal indications. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'd love being the flagman. Just watch for the signal and hold out a flag to say, go! Stop! It'd actually be fun. So I did a little research on Stranraer Town before playing this scenario. Stranraer Town Platform 1 is the terminus platform. Platforms 2 and 3 are through platforms. And while the line that way does not exist today, there is a small portion of the network, not very far beyond the end of the Stranraer Town station area. The station itself is closed. It's just the Harbour now that acts as a station. But the line used to continue. I can't remember the name of the place they continued to, but I think there were 2 more stations, including the terminus. And it actually went to the south a bit, then looped back around and came into the station going north, and that was the end of the route. The ultimate terminus of the route aside from Stranraer Harbour. So putting some brakes on so I don't crash coming into the terminus here. So given that this was in 1965 or earlier, some scenarios are even back as early as 1953. Boy, do I feel young now. Yeah, the line did continue. Now, a lot of these sidings are still here. I think there's still like 5 sidings here from this whole siding network. The turntable is gone, but several of the sidings are still there, so trains can be stored here from the Eyre route, I believe, is what the storage is probably used for. The Eyre trains are being used. Or using these sidings, I should say. So pulling in Stranraer Town. This is probably why this part of the route was included, because we needed to be able to shunt the trains over here. So it's an extra activity for us. Let's bring it to a stop so we don't smash into the buffer. And that's going to be the end of the scenario. Let's look at the train. So this train is going to be doing an empty, or an actual service from Stranraer Town later. This locomotive is going to have to turn around before we can do that, I believe. I don't know if they actually ran back and forth, but the turntable is there, so it's probably going to get turned around without us. So yeah, good. The train will now be prepared before it heads east to Dumfries this afternoon, and that means we're going to probably get the engine turned around. In any case, that's the end of this scenario. Stay tuned next time for the milk duties that we're going to be doing. It's a 3-part scenario. And yeah, that's going to be what we're doing next time. So I will see you for that. It's going to be over 3 days because we are going to be 3 videos because there's going to be 3 parts. See you for that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic, which will begin on my playlist if you are seeing the playlist in 3, 2, 1.